Hello and welcome to Vedic Vidada. So, previously the session got too much of audio wasn't recorded. I don't know, there was some mic problem or what. It has never happened before. I uploaded the video and it went on without sound, and I deleted the original video. So I have to make this 1 hour session again. Okay, very disappointed, and it's a very heck of a job. I don't like repeating the same knowledge again and again. Okay, plus whatever I say is all out of my head, so there is no script, nothing. So one session cannot be equally repeated as the second one, because all it is coming is by heart. So it is impossible for getting the same session again. Okay, it is not near, it is completely impossible, because I cannot speak the exact same thing which I spoke before. Okay, because everything was coming from my brain, from my temporal lobe. Okay, nothing was memorized. Let's hope whatever happens for the good. Maybe some better information I had to give, or some lesser information I had to give. That's why the earlier 1 hour video got too much of disturb. So we were on Cancer ascendant with Leo in the second house and Moon sitting in Leo. So Moon being in Leo in the second house, first of all, fire and water combination. Okay, Moon is that feminine watery planet, and Leo is all about Sun, and Sun is that hot fiery planet. So Agni Tattva with water Tattva doesn't go well. Okay, so what happens here is, first, what happens when you mix fire with water? Whenever you mix fire with water, one of them survives, right? So how to know whether fire survives or water survives? Okay, so in order to understand which one survives, we must see which is more capable, who is more powerful. Okay, so in this case, first you have to see on which tithi you are born. Okay, if the tithi is the big phase of moon. Okay, so let's categorize. The big phase of moon consists of Ashtami Tithi, the 8th big phase of moon, and more. That is the 8th big phase, then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and Purnima. These are the big phase of moon. Okay, the small phases of moon are in the decreasing order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 and Amavasya. Okay, so all the moons, Tithi moons, which are in the bigger phase, bigger than the 8th phase. Okay, the 8th phase of bigger moon, then bigger than that, bigger than that, bigger than that, bigger than that till Purnima. Okay, are big phases of moon. And talking about Amavasya and the small phases of moon, that is from Amavasya to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are small phases of moon. Okay, so if you are born with such a condition that Sun is in Leo, and you want to check whether your Sun is winning or Moon is winning, so you have to see this phase. Okay, if your Moon is in big phase, the Moon will win. If the Sun is in big, if the Moon is in small phase, the Sun will win. Okay, so if Moon is small, your fire element will be more. If Moon is big, your water element would be suppressing your fire element. Okay, big moon, water suppresses fire. Small moon, fire suppresses water, because both of them cannot survive. Getting my point? So, but one good thing about it is, whenever there is Sun Moon conjunction, or say Sun is aspecting Moon, Moon is aspecting Sun, okay, then it's a very good yoga for philosophy. Okay, so you might be a very good philosopher if your Sun is not placed in a malefic sthana, right? Now heading towards the fourth house. The fourth house of Leo would be 5, 6, 7, 8. That is Scorpio. Okay. So what happens here is, see, the fourth drishti of moon is good. Okay. So talking about the fourth drishti, the moon is giving its good light over Scorpio. So one thing happens good is all your negative traits tends to subside. Okay. If your Mars is debilitated, then it might have a problem. But if your Mars is not debilitated, okay, usually all your negative traits can subside with the help of moon. Okay, so your focus would be on correcting yourself. Okay, this is a very good side of you. Moon in Leo, people tend to correct themselves. They find out their flaws and they correct themselves. So correcting is a very good art for Leo moon. Okay, because see, Mars or the Scorpio is all about rage and aggression. Okay, but being in the fifth house, it might also give you some reputation based on, say, civil service, army men. Okay, any kind of say medical arts. But now moon is expecting it, so your mind would be indulged into it. So it is most likely that you study any of this field. You study either physical training, karate or something like that, or you study surgery, right? So this is going to be a good side of you. Getting my point? And since moon's fourth drishti is there, okay, so obviously it is going to give you good result. Now going to the seventh drishti. This chair is making so annoying noise. Okay. So the seventh drishti would be from Scorpio to 8, 9, 10, 11, that is Aquarius. Okay, so moon watching the sign of Aquarius. Now what happens over here? Aquarius Saturn is all about sorrow. Okay, and the seventh spot of the moon is something which moon highlights. Okay, so sorrow would be highlighted in your life. Okay, either people with sorrow are highlighted in your life, you would have people having sorrow around you, or your mind is continuously grabbing that perception from people around you. Okay, it's like your mind watches the sadness of people very easily. Okay, so whenever someone is not happy around you, okay, you would directly catch them. Okay, you would like ask them what happened, what's wrong. Okay, so you cannot neglect a sad person around you. Okay? If your Saturn is retrograde, you can. If your Saturn is not retrograde, since moon is watching Aquarius, the seventh place from it, you cannot neglect the sorrow of other people. You would be easily able to recognize that sorrow, that the person is in sorrow. Okay, so what you need to do is, since moon is a sign of Leo, and Leo is all about vitality, shine and radiance, try to help those people by giving them self-confidence. Try to help those people by giving them some good time. Okay, just be around them happy. Okay, don't guide them. Okay, sit with them, listen to them, do some good activity with them, and things would take a good turn in their life. Okay, and when you give that person, people who are in sorrow, some good time, okay, moon is going to reward you. And how would moon reward you? Moon will reward you with good mental peace and mental clarity. Okay, so this is something you can do. Plus seventh drishti is all about what it highlights. Okay, so sometimes when you are in sorrow, you cannot hide your sorrow. Okay, it's very difficult for you to hide sorrow. you would highlight your sorrow. Okay, whereas some people would think that you are showing off your sadness, whereas it's not showing off, but in literal way you cannot hide your sorrow. It is something that you cannot do. Okay, it is coming out whenever you are sad. It would be seen from your face, your personality, your say uh, behavior, body posture, anything like that. But whenever you would be sad, people would be able to identify it, and it is going to be a hell lot of thing for you to hide your sorrow. Okay, now the eighth house from it would be Pisces. Now Pisces Jupiter is all about the fruit of your lessons. Okay, so moon watching the eighth house as Pisces. So what happens? This is something which you feel troublesome about. Okay, so it's very tough for you to accept a lesson. Rather than, it is easy for you to understand a lesson that the lesson arrived in your life. Okay, but it's very tough for you to accept that. Okay, and another thing is you have to convert your knowledge into skills. Okay, you might be having very good mental capability, you might be having good physical compatibility. Okay, so talking about mind, body, you are good, but when it comes to applying the knowledge, okay, the application of your knowledge, it's tough for you. Okay, see, whenever you apply any knowledge, there are going to be some hurdles and obstacles. Okay, now you have spent a lot of energy into acquiring that knowledge, so when the application comes, there is no energy left for you to cross that hurdles. But keep in mind that few obstacles come in acquiring knowledge, and similarly few obstacles come in application of knowledge. You give your mind too much fatigue in acquiring the knowledge, that when it's time for application of knowledge, you do not have that strength left, that mental strength left. Getting my point? So it is equally necessary to apply your knowledge rather than to just know it. Okay, and especially application of your thoughts, things you have received and understand about life, about living. You would be knowing a good way of living, but when it comes to you living it, okay, it would be a bit of a hard time for you. Okay, in this case, do not try doing this thing. Okay, don't learn a lot of things together. Learn something and then apply it. Learn something and then apply it. In this manner, you would have distributed equal amount of energy in learning and in applying. Learning and in applying. Okay, what happens when you learn a lot of knowledge? Okay, you learn a lot of knowledge, so you have used a lot of your mental energy in acquiring that knowledge. So when it's time to apply the knowledge, now there is very less mental stamina left for you to apply the knowledge, whereas it needs equal amount of stamina to apply the knowledge, even more than to acquire it. Getting my point? So rather acquiring too many things and then applying it, acquire something, apply it, acquire something, apply it, acquire something, apply it. Right, in this manner things would be easier for you. Okay, now talking about Leo ascendants. For Leo ascendants, the second house will be Virgo, and moon placed in Virgo second house. In this case, see, moon and Mercury both are feminine planet, but moon is not a friend of Mercury. Okay, although when both are together, it might give you Nipun Yoga, which is good. Okay, Nipun Yoga, that is the yoga of accidents. But why aren't they friendly with each other? Because see, Mercury is all about intellect. Okay, so intellect comes from clarity of mind. Okay, so until and unless your moon is equally beneficial, the intellect will not be useful. And until and unless you have that intellect inside you, the beneficial moon is of no worth. Okay, now consider both of them together. The moon is saying, it's my worth because I gathered the knowledge. Mercury is saying it's my worth because I apply the knowledge. So when they are together, although both of them are very good, but with each other they would quarrel a lot. So there is some internal quarreling, and especially if this being in the second house of finance, I would say this quarreling would be about selecting your career, selecting your investing plans. Okay, if Mercury is debilitated, you can do job. If it is Mercury is not debilitated, I would say your income from business would be very good. Okay, and Mercury loves shortcut. Okay, so your mind would be loving shortcuts. So one thing you always need to take care is you are good at shortcuts and spontaneous actions, spontaneous behaviors. Okay, so what happens is every time your mind is willing to do some spontaneous action, what you have to do is allow yourself to be calm. The calmer you will be, the better you would be able to focus. Getting my point? And since it is in the second house of Dhanesh, I would say that Mercury here, or say Virgo, is very good for business. You might be having savings from business if Mercury is not debilitated or in Manan Karakstan or in retrograde. Right? If it is, I would suggest you do some banking related job. That would again be a good sector for you. Okay, or some organization or management work. Okay. Now talking about the fourth house, the fourth house from Virgo will be 6, 7, 8, 9. That is Sagittarius, and Moon showing its good side to Sagittarius is going to be a very good Gajakesari Yoga. So again, there are some signs of good financial balance. Okay, Virgo being the second house, Moon in it, and Moon watching the Sagittarius, it is definitely going to give you wealth from your own learning, from your own studies. Okay, so I would suggest, and one more thing, Sagittarius in the fifth house, come on, house of respect, house of glory, very good, very good. So what happens is Sagittarius being in the fifth house is giving you a lot of glory, and who is combining the glory with, who is watching the glory with the good eyes? That is Moon. So your glory, your respect is going to bring a lot of money because Moon is sitting in Lakshmi house. Okay, so Moon in second house in Virgo watching Sagittarius, you are getting a lot of money from your social outbeing. Okay, social activities, also from your own knowledge, also from your own let's say teaching sector is good for you. And your children's would be very wealthy. In this case, it is quite sure that your children's be very wealthy. Okay, so even if you are not wealthy, your children's would definitely be wealthy. Okay, until and unless Jupiter is placed in a malefic place. Okay, now going to the seventh house would be 10, 11 and 12, that is Pisces. Again, Moon is watching Pisces. So see, Moon watches Sagittarius and Moon watches Pisces. Moon watches both the Jupiterian sign from Virgo. That is why Virgo has many shortcuts. Why? Moon, the mind is watching one side of the coin and mind is also watching another side of the coin. The one side of the coin it is watching from good eyes. Another side of the coin it is watching with neutral eyes. So what does it suggest? It suggests your speculation abilities, and in which field you speculate depends on where the Moon is. Here we are talking about second house Moon. Okay, so you are very good at speculating, say financial things. You can be very good at share broking. You can be very good at investment plans. Okay, so organization, management, investments are a very big perk of you, because you tend to see both the sides of the coin, and with it you again tend to see the good side and balance it with the neutralized side. So what happens is you have both these sides into your mind and then you select any one of the side. That is why people like you are very good at speculating things. Okay, they are very good at curating things. Okay, this is your plus point. Now again, as the seventh light from it goes to Pisces, which means your skills would be highlighted. Okay, so over here your skills are highlighted, so it is very easy for you to highlight your skills. Okay, so make sure you highlight your skills and use it in the optimal way. Talking about the 8th house over here, the 8th house where Moon's Drishti is not good is going to be Aries. Okay, now Aries Mars is different from Scorpio Mars. Okay, Aries Mars is say Scorpio Mars was all about war, but Aries Mars is self courage, self discipline. Okay, the inner power. But here Aries is 8th house from the Moon's eyesight, so this is where your mind is weak. Okay, so this is your weak point. So what is your weak point over here? The weak point over here is that you sometimes lack your inner strength and inner courage to take your own stand. Okay, to say no, to say you don't like it, to take a stand on places where you have to take, to stand on your need, to stand on your want, to stand on your desire. Okay, so your mind sometimes goes back rather than moving forward in showing off that it needs some what we say priority. So you will be very bad at prioritizing yourself. You need to give yourself priority, but you are bad at it. Okay, your mind is bad at it because whenever you try to whenever you want priority, you cannot express it. Okay, you are not that straightforward that you can say that okay, I need this priority. Okay, so in this case you should learn to prioritize yourself. You should learn to say no to people. Okay, you should learn to be frank with people. Don't let people walk over you. Okay, Virgo people, don't let people walk over you. Learn to say no. And even no, I won't say no, but learn to accept things the way they are, but don't accept things which you can change. Only accept things which you cannot change. Okay, so this was one of your weakness, right? Now coming to Virgo ascendants and Leo being the second house, and Moon sitting and Libra being the second house, and Moon sitting in Libra. So what happens over here is, see, now Libra is the sign of Venus, and Libra Venus is all about partnerships, love affairs, romance, sensuality. Okay, the Taurus Venus was not about too much of sensuality. Taurus Venus was all about the softness of Venus. Okay, whereas Libra Venus is all about the companion sign of Venus. Okay, so over here Venus with Moon is giving you a very good very good yoga for investing into cosmetics, very good yoga to invest into perfumery and fashion. Since it is your Dhanesh and your Moon is sitting over there, I would say you can also do some business related to cosmetics or perfumes and fashion, anything like that, beauty. Moreover, it is also good that if you get married sooner. Okay, since in your Dhanesh there is Libra. Libra is all about companionship and Moon is sitting over there. So what happens, the earlier you will get married, okay, the greater are your chances to succeed, because the key to your Lakshmi is with your companion, that is your spouse. Getting my point? So if you get married early, okay, then it's going to be a good job for you. You might be getting success earlier. And the second thing is, don't cheat, okay, because especially in your sexual desires, it is with your spouse's body energies that you are getting wealth. Okay, since moon and moon in the second house, and Libra is in the second house of wealth. Libra is about spouse. Your spouse is the holder of your wealth. Okay, so if you have sex with more than one partner, the wealth will be distributed around. If you have sex with just one partner, your spouse's energy is bringing you wealth, because your spouse, the companion Rashi, is in the Lakshmi Sthan. Okay, so it is very necessary for you to be loyal, right? Now let's talk about the fourth drishti. So over here, talking about the fourth drishti from Libra would be 7, 8, 9 and 10, Capricorn. See, Capricorn Saturn and Aquarius Saturn are different Saturns. Capricorn Saturn is all about darkness. It was the Aquarius Saturn which was about sorrow. The Capricorn Saturn is your own darkness. Darkness of, say, many different things. If, say, it's first house, darkness in your mind, your internal self. Second house, darkness in your money. Third house, darkness in your parakram. Okay, whatever you do would always be hidden, even though you are best at it. Saturn in the fourth house, darkness in your family. Fifth house, darkness in your social outings and extrovertness. There would you might be an introvert. Okay, sixth house, darkness in your health. Seventh house, darkness in your spouse. Eighth house, darkness in your life, and especially darkness in your lifestyle. Ninth house, darkness in your core values, in your efficiency. 10th house, darkness in your career. 11th house, darkness in your own self-confidence. 12th house is 12th house, I won't say darkness. 12th house, I would say some dark desires which you need to overcome. Okay, so over here what happens is, moon is watching Capricorn. So moon being also your mother, moon being also the goddesses. So the moment you start worshipping goddesses, all your darkness will go. You have darkness in health, worship Uma. You have darkness in finances, worship Lakshmi. You have darkness in studies, Saraswati is there. Darkness in mind, Saraswati is there. Darkness in speech, again Saraswati. Okay. Internal darkness, Kali is there. Okay. So wherever there is darkness, who is destroying the darkness? The moon is destroying the darkness. Why it is destroying? Because the fourth drishti from Libra is Capricorn from the moon. So if you are born in Libra moon, what happens? The fourth house from moon is Capricorn, the sign of darkness. Who is relieving you from that sign of darkness? Moon is relieving you. Who is moon? Moon is your mother. Worship your mother, or worship the divine mother. Your darkness will fade away. Why? Because moon is favorable for you in order of destroying your darkness. Moon itself is destroying the darkness. Getting my point? So worship goddesses and you will destroy all the darkness in your life. Okay. Now let's see the seventh zodiac from the moon. Over here, seventh would be 11, 12 and 1, that is Aries. Now Aries being in the seventh from the moon is, your mind is continuously asking to self-improve in your own self-confidence. Okay. I won't use the word exactly self-confidence, but I would say your mind would be quite wavery in nature. So this wavering mindset you need to stabilize. In order to stabilize, you need to be firm on one mindset. How to do that? Okay, so there are always some conflicting thoughts, and those conflicting thoughts are creating errors because you do not have confidence on the first thought you were having. Say for example, you want to go from one place to another. Your mind is saying, okay, go from this way, it is good and easier. Okay, and it is really good and easier. Your mind said the right thing, but still you accuse your mind and do not have confidence in yourself, and then you question it. What if? What if this is not the right way or easiest way? What if this might be the easiest way? Okay, so that thought of what if is creating problem. Why? Your mind said the right thing in the first moment itself. Come on, your mind is sitting in Libra, the sign of balance. Your mind already balanced those things and then decided the right thing, but you lacked confidence in your own thinking. That is why you questioned your mind, what if? And this question of what if gave you that shivering thought from what you have decided. And then you stop deciding that thing and again search for some new ways out. And in search of some new ways, you would again search 10 ways, then again weigh those ways, which is better, which is good, which is easier. Okay, and again choose one of them, then again try to balance it with that previous way and find that the first one which you thought was right. Okay, so what happens is you question your mind again and again and again, and whatever you thought, you change it. Okay, so this is because you entertain the thought of what if. Come on, Libra moon, your mind is sitting in Libra. You already know, you already have decided your first step after balancing this side and this side of the coin. Then why you need to think again? You don't need to think again. Once you have decided by thinking what happens on this side, what happens on this side, you don't have to rethink. Stop rethinking. Whenever you rethink, you procrastinate, Librans. Okay, so rethinking is a cause of your procrastination. The thought of what if. Remove the thought of what if. There is no what if in your life. The first thing what you have decided is always bloody right. The second thing you decide will always be wrong and will bring you realize next year. Again, when the moon is going on the same place, you will realize, oh my God, the first thing I was thinking was right. The second thing I thought was because what if, and that what if made my first balance wrong. Throw the thought of what if you want to be cunning in your life. Okay. Now let's talk about the 8th house from Libra. The 8th house from Libra would be Taurus. Over here, Taurus is again your soft side, your soft speech. Okay, so your mind is not allowing you to bring that softness out in your speech, softness out into you. Okay, so many a times Libra moon people are accused of not being able to communicate well. Well, in terms of communication, the only problem would be the tone. Why? Because see, Libras balanced this side and this side of the coin. They watch both the sides and then they have decided something in the mind. From that comparative analysis, from that logical analysis, so their mind is so comparative and logical, they are either accused of judgment or they are accused of not being polite. Okay, but see, that comparative mindset won't allow them to be polite. Whatever they have seen, they will express it. the way they have seen it, they are very bad at sugar coating things. Okay, so even though, see, say Librans are flirts, Librans are hopelessly sometimes romantics. Okay, but these things does not say that they are sugar coating things. They have good skills in companionship, they are very good as a companion, they are very good in luring people into their life, but they are not good at sugar coating things, because Taurus is something they don't admire. Okay, let's say 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 and 2. Yes, 8th house becomes Taurus. So what happens here is, they need to learn that art of sugar coating things. They need to learn how to be nice in speaking, because they would just say what they wish, rather than what they had in their mind. So the filter of tonal quality is missing into them sometimes. If Venus is exalted, then they would be having it. If Venus is not exalted, then they would not be having it. Okay, so they need to apply that filter of tonal quality. Learn to understand where, in which tone you have to speak. When you do that, many of your issues will subside. Okay, now coming to Libra ascendants. Libra ascendants with Scorpio in the second house and Moon being in Scorpio. Talking about Moon in the Scorpio sign. See, Moon is debilitated in the Scorpio sign. Why is Moon debilitated in the Scorpio sign? First of all, the characteristics of Moon is that water element, that calmness. Okay, and Scorpio, the ruler is Mars, and the Scorpion Mars is the most rageful Mars. Okay, most angry Mars, very fierce. Okay, and Moon being very quiet, very calm. Okay, the ruler of water. So over here, when these two meet, okay, it is going to cause a lot of vapor. Okay, पूरा इलाका धुआं धुआं कर देंगे. See, when fire meets water, there is always vapor. When too much of fire meets with too much of water, it is very big vapor. Okay, so what does this vapor do? This vapor create a fog. Now this fog will create a bit of translucent blindness in front of your eyes. Okay, so you would be slightly away from reality. Your mind may be slightly away from reality. And this is something which is going to cause you a lot of troubles in society. Okay, so first of all, that is why Moon is debilitated in Scorpio, because that heat of Scorpio and the chillness of Moon is causing a lot of vapor. Now that vapor will act as a fog, and that fog will diminish your vision, it will diminish your perception, it will diminish your mindset to see the truth, to see the reality, okay, directly. Getting my point? So what happens is, you are thriving in life. You are thriving in life to see the reality. When it is in second house, you are thriving in life to see the real source of your income. You are thriving in order to decide from these blurry thoughts, where should I get my money from? Getting my point? Now talking about the fourth house from here. Okay, the fourth house from here would be 8, 9, 10 and 11. That is Aquarius. Again, the Aquarius Saturn. The Aquarius Saturn is all about sorrow, and when Moon is watching that, it is giving you indirect wish yoga. Now this indirect wish yoga is not created inside you, but in your fifth house with aspect. Okay, so you are not in sorrow, but the people around you are in sorrow. You are not in sorrow, but the people around you are in sorrow. आप दुखी नहीं है मेरे भाई, आपके आजू बाजू वाले लोग दुखी हैं, तो आपको सिर्फ दुखी दिखता है. You envision the sorrows of people around you. When you keep on visioning and perceiving sorrows of other people, you absorb their sorrows. You understand those sorrows. You decipher those sorrows. Eventually, there is a part of you which is in sorrow. Right? Being in the 5th house, it is also showing you your friends, your surroundings, and moon is watching it, and Aquarius is placed over there. So there would be many sad people around you. Okay, so one thing you need to take care is, do not absorb the sorrow of other people. Do not absorb the sorrow of other people. It is inevitable that you would have sad people around you. Okay, it is good to feel their sadness, but it is not good to accept their sadness. It is not good to it is not good to say that just because of them आप इस दुनिया का आंकलन आपके आजू बाजू वाले दुखी इंसानों से मत कीजिए. डू नॉट वे द वर्ल्ड watching the sadness of people around you. It is your job to understand and accept the sadness. It is not your job to be sad with them. Okay, and again, what is helping you to get relief from that sadness? It is that moon, because that moon is throwing light on that sadness. Right? So what do you have to do? Again, you have to do Devi Pujan. Worship goddesses. The moment you start worshipping goddesses, the moment you start worshipping your mother, those sorrowful people around you will not affect you. Rather, you will learn from their sorrows rather than absorbing it. Okay, so worship Devis, worship the goddesses. Okay. Now the 7th house would be 12, 1 and 2, that is Taurus. So Taurus becomes the 7th house. Now moon is watching Taurus, exact opposite drishti. So again, Taurus is Venus, and Venus being your companion, Venus being your speech over here, companion was Libra. Over here it is your softness. Your mind is asking you to embrace your softness. Your mind is asking you to embrace your sweetness. Get sweetness in your tonal quality. Get sweetness in how you speak. Your speech should be sweet, sober, elegant. Okay, so the moment your speech becomes harsh and rough, the moon gets upset, and moon is sitting in the house of finance. Your finance gets upset. So what do you have to do? You have to always be sober and elegant in your speech. The moment you spoil your speech, your finances will go up and down. Okay, so always take care that your speech should be good. You should be soft. Don't be harsh on yourself. Don't be harsh on your mind. Okay, because moon is watching. The moment you be harsh on your mind will start accumulating stress, and this stress will keep you in distress. This stress will keep you in distress. Okay. Now the 8th house will be number 3, that is Gemini. So this is where you have to learn in your life, because Gemini is that Mercury which helps in communicating and collaborating with people, especially opposite gender and your spouse. So here there would be a lot of trouble in communication with your spouse. You might be thinking that your spouse is not at the same intellectual level as you are. Yes, they might not be, very well. But is the bond of a spouse just to be at your intellectual level? Can't a spouse be in a lower or higher intellectual level and you can join with them emotionally? If they are not in the same emotional level, can't you combine with them energetically? So all these questions you need to answer. Okay, don't think that your spouse is going to be an easy task for you. No, your spouse is going to be a difficult thing for you, but your spouse is the one that is making your life good, making your life easier. So all you have to do is to accept and understand your spouse. And there is a lot of issue for you in understanding your spouse. You might be knowing them, you might be loving them, you might be understanding them, but you might be knowing them, you might be loving them, you might be living with them, but understanding them would be a very big task. Okay, so for Scorpio moon sign, understanding your spouse, and with this being in the 9th house, okay, I would say you should worship the deity your spouse is worshipping. Okay, whatever religion, culture your spouse is from, worship that god, goddesses, or the culture, and you will see better things in your life. Okay, now talking about Scorpio ascendants and Sagittarius being in the 2nd house. Sagittarius in the 2nd house. Let's say I will cut this video over here and make another video from Sagittarius to Pisces. Okay, because since we have taken too much of long time, it's good to cut it into parts. Okay, so thank you very much. We will be connecting soon.